presented by Good Vibrations Motorsports. We're here at the Soboba Casino in San Jacinto, California for the 2017 April Fuels Day event. So right now we are in round 3 of the Friday Pro Gambler class. This is quarterfinals time. We got John Huff making the haul from the northwest, hanging loose deep over on the far side, against Charlie Johnson in the Mopar Power Jeep, right here in heaven in the near lane. So John Huff far lane, Charlie Johnson near lane. Johnson broke out by 0.04 of a second. He went 4:59.6 on the 60 dial, jumping out of it early. He had a 0:37 light for John's 160. So he took a bunch of stripes down there, and John Huff going down to the semifinals next time. Pro Gambler. Talk about a matchup here. Kenny Hayes over here in the near lane, and Chris Adamson in the far lane, the bounty hunter. Chris most recently at the Dumont Dunes, the Las Vegas Jeep Club event. He dialed in at 4:36 up against Kenny Hayes, Buckeye, Arizona, he calls home. Dialed in at 3:54. Both guys were on the tree, but the wind light to Chris Adamson. Chris was 0:46 on the tree. He goes 4:39. Kenny Hayes was 0:17, but he couldn't run the number. He went 3:60. So it should have been a few thou difference at the other end. And Chris Adams is moving on in the Friday Pro Gambler. Next up, Aaron Bailey over in the far lane in the 323 Jeep. Up against Chris Pintor in the 555. Chris Pintor, he goes 391, 78 miles an hour. They were real close together on the tree. Both had reaction time that started with a 1, but the win light to Chris Pintor going on to the semifinals. So John Huff, Chris Adamson, and Chris Pintor coming back for the semifinals in the Friday Pro Gambler. So if I got everything figured out as to what we got going, we're going to do today's time shot for the Pro 2 class will be next, and then we will go to the next round of the Pro Gambler. So let's stay live here for a little bit, watch some racing action. So to recap, you are watching the National Sandbag News live stream presented by Good Vibrations Motorsports. We are here at the Soboba Casino in San Jacinto, California, down in the Hemet Valley. See the mountains over there. We got some snow caps over there, almost like the Game Parade racing. You don't see that very often, but pretty cool. So anyways, we had some good racing action here today. We had the first qualifying session for the heads-up categories. Top field came out. Only Marcus Norris made a hit. Dennis Wright, Ian Mansfield, Ludlow are both receiving 3 top field cars this weekend. Ludlow and Wright will decide to sit out the first session. They will run the evening session coming up. But Marcus Norris, he went Barlow was number 3 in alcohol. He ran 3:36. He kind of rolled the beams, and it looked like a better pass than that. But had some staging issues, and that was his number. So top eliminator came up in their first session. Rodney Artney, the Red Warrior, his first pass of the season, he ran 2:99. So he's your number 1 qualifier for Q1. Paul Taylor was the second best with a 3:03. Billy Morris, he came within 2,000, so it was a perfect run. He went 2:94 with an 8. So he was a little too quick for the 2:95 index, so he's at the bottom of the sheet right now. So the next session ought to be very interesting in top eliminator qualifying. Fast Forwards came out. All those guys seem to have issues at the hit. They had some traction issues. Mario Tavares ran the best pass, went 2:91, and Robert Skidmore went at 93. Daniel King went 3:24, and Lance Kaina, he kind of bogged. He's your number 4 qualifier. So Pro Mod, Jimmy DePass and Derek Balkunis came up, and Derek roasted the tires at the hit, and Jimmy went A to B, went 289, so Jimmy's your number 1 qualifier in Pro Mod so far. But yeah, I mean, the first session here today, we didn't have everybody here yet. There's a lot of racers that are still en route, so we'll see more in the next session. We got quite a few cars in the lanes getting ready for their Pro time shot today. We ran Pro 1 a few minutes ago. Pro 2's coming out next, and then we'll go back to the Pro Gambler semi-finals. So Pro Gambler semis, we got John Huff, Chris Adamson, and Chris Pintor left. Down to 3 cars. See who takes home the money today. So sure where exactly we're going next, but we're supposed to go to Pro 2. Big shout out to all the folks that make our coverage possible. Of course, our friends at Good Vibrations Motorsports. Check them out at goodvibesracing.com. Big thanks to Southern California OTR Recycling, Mr. Greg Tunget. Greg's got his Jeep ready to go. He's got the EFI store here to do some tuning on it. So we're looking forward to seeing him in pro bracket action this weekend. Big thank you to SCSDA, Mike Gazzini, his wife Terry, the whole crew there at the SCSDA. They do a great job with the events, and we want to give them a big shout out. Extremely accommodating. As well as our good friends, Todd and Tricia Kinney and the Kinney family at Rialto Trophy. They created this awesome banner for us, so we want to give a big shout out to them. Hammer down, Dennis Reich. Big thanks to Dennis for all his support. Dennis has the field car here this weekend. He also has the bracket Jeep, so he's ready to light the candles tonight, as you can see. Big shout out to Morse Family Racing, Rick and Billy, Shelly, the whole family over there. Great group over there. Fast Track Construction, Mr. Mark Puñoz out of Las Vegas. Mark, he's not going to make it this weekend. He's going to the NHRA race up in Vegas, the All Yellow Series, so we'll see him hopefully in Avenal coming up with his top eliminator dragster. Big shout out to MPC Racing, Mr. Mark Ratliff. We'll see him up here in a little bit in the Motorcycle Gambler. And a big shout out to Kevin Williams Racing, OK Dog. I haven't seen Kevin run today yet. I'm not sure what he's got going, but I'm sure we'll see him out here at some point this weekend. Pro 2's coming out now. This is the Pro 2 time trial pass. They get a time shot today. This is 375 to 425 dial-in cars. So first out is going to be Johnny Belleville. Johnny over here in the near lane out of the Phoenix area. Up against Bart in the pond, the UTV. Danville, he got down the track first and went 4:17 at 73. Bart over on Kong over there on the far side, he was 4:35 at 76 miles an hour. Nice hit for that UTV. Time trials. Hey, it's Brian Baird over on the far side. He made the hull all the way from Montana. Very cool to see him making the trip out here. We got the fencing right over here in the air lane. I'm not sure if Scott's driving or Derek was in it earlier. He's a gambler. Puts it down through there at 424, 127 on the tree. Brian Baird goes 481 at 62 miles an hour. Nice opening lap for Brian. Good to see George Amos out here. Long time sand drag racer, many time champion. George in the black and blue big block Chevy power dragster with Mike Williams Sr. in the white Lightning team. Mike had some engine issues at the last race. He had plenty of time to get it fixed, and he's ready for this weekend here at Soboba. So George Amos goes 109 on the tree, 390. 407 is the number for Mike Williams Sr. over on the far side. Charlie Johnson coming up here in the near lane. Gold Car Power Chief. Against Frank Wagner. Frank's over on the far side. In the blown small block Jeep over there. Charlie just dropped the close one in the dropped the tough one in the Pro Gamble where he broke out by 4,000. Had some room down there, but took a little too much stride. So we'll see what he does here in this time shot. For Charlie, 424 for Frank Wagner, and I'll just say Charlie had a reaction time that started with a 1. So that's one of those burn barrel tickets, but you know what? He had a 003 earlier, Mr. E.T. Like his second hit of the day, he went 003, so yeah, pretty crazy. Justin Adams in near lane, Joe Simeone, far lane. Justin Adams be coming off all of his wins at the Dumont Noon in the race day Chief. Joe Simeone in the I Love It team. So 085 on the tree for Dustin Adamson, 109 for Joe Simeone, and they both went 441. Pretty good side-by-side race for a time shot there. So to recap, we are at the Soboba Casino in San Jacinto, California for the Southern California Sand Drag Association April Fuels event. We're running some pro bracket time shots here. We've got Bill Meany coming out next in the blown big black Chevy power dragster. This was the former Wild Willie ride. Let's see what Bill can do. This car's usually somewhere in the mid 350 range. 271 on the tree. He went 370. 370 at 85 for Bill. I think he spun pretty hard at the head. Spun hard, shifted early, and that was the result. 370 at 85. Folks, we're going to do some track prep here. And we'll see what's coming up next. Hopefully we'll be going to the next round of the Pro Gambler. So to recap, we are at the Soboba Casino in San Jacinto, California for the Southern California Sandbag Association April Fuels Day event. Watching the National Sandbag News live stream presented by Good Vibrations Motorsports. Sure, check out our friends at Good Vibrations Motorsports at goodvibesracing.com or look them up at Good Vibrations Motorsports on Facebook. And do some track prep. AJW, you better get here. There's scooters in the lanes. So bikes in the lanes. We're going to have the Motorcycle Gambler. They'll be up here in a little bit. Actually quite a few over there today. Ed Hutchinson's here. He made the haul from Phoenix. Good to see him here. I see a few bikes over there that I do not recognize. I see Mark Ratliff is in line. Kind of a different setup. It looks like it's his normal bike, but he's got the flame plastics off of Austin's old bike on it. So a little different. So this is just day one of this event. It will go on all weekend. We'll be here tomorrow for more action and on Sunday for final eliminations. So the next round of heads-up qualifying will be tonight at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. California time, Pacific Standard Time, which will be 9 in the East. And we will be live on the NSDN live stream for that session, so be sure to tune in at 6 p.m. California time and 9 p.m. in the East for Q2 of this weekend's event. Plan is to stay live through at least the next round of this Gambler. Be sure to go back through the NSDN Facebook page, through the wall there. There's a lot of videos from the first qualifying session today, as well as some photos of the track and whatnot. Oh, zoom in over here. The V8 buggy, Chris Wall's ride. They put a 632 cubic inch big block Chevy in that thing, stuffed it in there, and that thing's made some pretty impressive passes. Chris won a 322 the last time down the track, and they're running on motor. They haven't turned the night piece on yet, so pretty awesome to see that ride throwing out some numbers. Looks to me like we're going to the Gambler semifinals. Semifinals. Who's it gonna be? It's gonna be John Huff. driving the Hanging Loose Jeep that him and his wife Donna both pilot. So it appears to me it's going to be John Huff and Chris Pintor. And Chris Adamson will have the bye to the final. Here we go. So John Huff making the trip from the Northwest. Long time Sanjay racer. To John Huff, he was 085 on the tree, holding about a 10th advantage going up the starting line. He goes 451 for the win. So John Huff taking the dub there, going to the final where he will face Chris Adamson in an all Jeep final round in the Friday Pro Gambler class. Chris on a 436 dial over there. The Bounty Hunter. Goes 444 on that one. I'm not sure if he's going to redial, but 444 on the 36 there. He's going to the final. What are we doing now? Oh, hey. We're going to have a licensing pass here for Christian Myers in the April's Dream Top Alcohol Dragster. Grandpa Jim right there. Your current #1 qualifier. Stay live for this pass. You guys can get a little taste of top alcohol here. Christian's gonna make a one of his licensing hits, probably, I don't know, 60 foot to half track pass, I'm assuming. So here comes the April's Dream team. They're going to tow it out and get it ready to start. Christian's going to make a pass here. He made, I believe, 2 hits at the last race. Nice little 60-footer. And he probably went about 100 foot on the next one. Did a very nice job. So let's see what Christian Myers can do here in the April's Dream Top Alcohol Dragster. He's going to make a licensing pass. We will be back at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, or I'm sorry, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 in the East, for qualifying session number 2. So we'll have the top fuel, top alcohol, top eliminator, fast fours, and pro mod out at 6 Pacific Time, 9 in the East. So you check the NSDN live stream at that time, and we're going to have qualifying. So we'll have all the heads-up classes out here for their second qualifying session of the weekend. Christian makes a short blurb there as he continues his licensing process, making the transition from a junior dragster to top alcohol. So pretty cool to see Christian out here behind the wheel of a big car. He's continuing the learning curve and making progress every time out. So kind of reminds me of the process that Ashley Sanford went through when she jumped into the alcohol dragster, her dad's Frederosa racing car, and stepped up from 60 footers to half tracks and onward. And we see where she is today, going for her top fuel license after this weekend's event in Las Vegas on the asphalt. So pretty cool to see the progression over the years of these racers. Lance Ka'aina, I was told how it's pronounced. In the crazy coconut car, he's gonna make a cut get here. Over on the far side, old Lance from Hawaii. He had some trouble on his qualifying yet. I'm going to come up here and make a quick test pass, see what he can do. Yeah, 102. Nice hit for Lance, went A to B. So we got a little treat here for you. Chris Clouds in the Northwest Face buggy. Tampa Sunny, big part of the team through the beams there, so we don't really have a good time on it. 413 at 101. Well, it's clearly quicker than a 413, so 101 mile an hour though, heading in the right direction. He went at 322 earlier, so. Well guys, I see the Pro Gambler final is suiting up. They're getting ready to go, so we'll stay live for that. Looks like maybe they're gonna do a quick clean of the track, maybe. You can see who's gonna take this thing. Friday Car Pro Gambler. John Huff and Chris Adamson. Watching the National Sandbag News live stream presented by Good Vibration Motorsports. We're at the Soboba Casino in San Jacinto, California for the 2017 Southern California Sandbag Association April Fuels event. Big thanks to all of our sponsors that made the coverage happen this weekend. Good Vibration Motorsports, Southern California OTR Recycling, Mr. Greg Tuggett, Beaver Down Racing, Family Racing, Track Construction, Mr. Mark Munoz, Mark Ratliff from MPC Racing, and Kevin Williams Racing. So we are, once again, be sure to tune back in at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 p.m. in the East, for the next qualifying session for the heads-up categories. We will be live here on the National Sandbag News live stream for that session. We'll have Top Fuel, Top Alcohol, Top Eliminator, Fast Force, and Pro Mod on the track for their second qualifying session of the weekend. Once again, that's at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, Pacific Standard Time, and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The wind is kicking up, as you can see from the flags down at the other end of the track. It's a little breezy. This weekend, the forecast shows it's between 4 and 6 o'clock is going to be kicking up a little bit, but it'll be fairly calm the rest of the weekend. It's kind of cool here today. It's probably in the low 70s. Gosh, I would say maybe even in the high 60s right now. It's cooled off some. We'll see some really good air for the qualifying session tonight. So we'll see what happens on that. Good to see we got some folks from Puerto Rico in the house checking us out in the National Sandbag News live stream. Tractors are almost off the track, so shortly now. Friday Pro Gambler Bracket Class Final. Once again, the final round here, Pro Gambler, John Huff in the Hangin' Loose Jeep out of the Northwest. Up against Chris Adamson in the Bounty Hunter from Norco. Chris coming off a few wins over at Dumont, President's Day weekend. Put on his normal clinic in the hill climb event. He does a masterful job in that event. Signal to fire him up from Chief Starter Chachi Zavala, the race director. Gives him the fire up signal, and here they come. Chris Adamson will be in the far lane, and John Huff will be in the near lane. Let's see if the dials refresh on the board to see what 436 is the dial for Adams, and 440 for John Huff. Win light to John Huff. 048 on the tree, went 453 on the 40 dial. He got the job done. Chris Adamson was uncharacteristically late. He was dead on with the 3. Couldn't get the job done. So John Huff is your winner in the Friday Trojan. Alright folks, we're going to sign off with the NSDN live stream for right now. We'll be back at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 in the East.